guys, it's Nicole here, the Harmonious Hippy. Today's video is going to be a little bit shorter and we are going to stay seated for the entire time. This video is going to focus on wrist health and also the forearms and that kind of thing. This is especially helpful if you have a day job where you're typing a lot or sitting at a desk. It's also very helpful just in general for your yoga practice if you are working towards something like a handstand and you find that you have quite tight wrists. Getting those really stretched out and healthy can really help with that practice. So you can come to a seat on a block or a pillow. Again, as always, making sure that your hips are above your knees. Or you can sit in a chair, on your couch, at your desk, whatever's comfortable for you. Like I said, we are going to be staying seated this entire practice. So wherever you want to be in your house, just go ahead and get comfortable there and we will get started. Okay guys, so just coming to that comfortable seat, getting ready to move the wrists. If you do have a wrist injury, just being very careful here. Sometimes it can feel nice to kind of stretch out the wrists, but with certain injuries, obviously it's not great. So please do check in with medical health professionals. Make sure that if it's post-surgery or something like that, or if you do have something like carpal tunnel, that they are okay with you doing this practice. Otherwise, just make sure that you're really going slow and tuning in with your body and making sure that everything is feeling comfortable. You do want to feel that stretching sensation, but you don't want to have anything being pulling. So just making sure that you're moving very slowly. So this is just going to be a quick practice and let's get started here. So just sitting in your comfortable seat, we are going to itch our faces and we're going to start with stretching out all of the fingers sideways first. So just bringing your hand out in front of you, you can do whichever hand you'd like. We're obviously going to do both hands, and just bringing your other hand up in between the fingers, whatever's comfortable. If it's these two fingers, if it's like a whole little duck mouth, beak I guess you would call that, whatever works the best for you. Just spreading apart the two end fingers and just holding this for a few breaths. And again, as usual, making sure that you are breathing. We want to keep the posture nice and lifted and tall, perhaps engaging the core just slightly, just to make sure that you are fully held here and engaged and not just slouching, stretching your hands. So rolling the shoulders back, feeling that stretch in the fingers. And this is a bit of an odd one. You don't always experience this kind of a sensation, so this can feel a little bit weird. And just switching to the next fingers, stretching those out. I find sometimes I have to switch and do a different grip on certain fingers. I also note if I'm wearing rings that I can feel the rings pulling a little bit, so if you have rings on, you may want to remove those as well. Just continuing to breathe here. This is really helpful just to keep the health of the hands. I think everyone, if you are doing stuff to keep the hands healthy, that most people focus on the joints, they focus on the wrist and stretching out that forearm, but a lot of times the fingers kind of get neglected. And they're doing a lot as well, you know, there's tons of tiny little tendons and bones in the hands, and getting it all stretched out and taken care of is really helpful. So this is something that you can do every day. At the start of your day, end of your day, in the middle of your day, wherever works best for you, just to make sure that you get that stretch in. And then what we're going to do with the thumb is we're going to take it and pull it back towards us, kind of towards the forearm, but being very careful here. You don't want to go too hard. So anything that feels comfortable, if you want to just pull with your other thumb, if you want to pull with your whole hand, but again, going very slow, noticing what's comfortable for you. This may be very easy. Some people are a little bit double jointed in their fingers, and they can bring their thumb right down to their wrist here, and that is not the case for me. But it's still good to stretch out even if you do have that double jointedness. So feeling that stretch pulling across the palm of the hand. And releasing that, giving it a little shake. We're going to switch to the other side here. Stretching out those end fingers side to side. These are the times when I wish that there weren't copyright laws and I could play music. It's a little boring just sitting here stretching our fingers, isn't it? Moving on to the next set. Again, noticing if you're slouching here, Just trying to keep the posture nice and tall. Breathing. And switching to the last fingers here. Stretching those out. And letting that go, and again taking the thumb back. Feeling that stretch across the palm. Continuing to breathe. And letting that go, just giving that a little shake. We're now going to stretch the fingers back. So the hand can come out straight, and we're just going to take each finger and pull it back. Again, you can use your whole hand to do this, and making sure that you're not pulling so far that it's, you know, hurting your joints or anything like that. Just pulling enough to feel that nice stretch in there. A lot of tension can be held in the hands, as I mentioned before. There are a lot of tiny little tendons and bones and muscles in the hands and the feet as well. So it's easy to hold a lot of tension there and almost not realize it, but when you think about it, really, think about how much your hands are doing in the day. Little tiny things that you don't even realize, turning off the alarm on your phone, getting out of bed, you know, selecting your clothes, you've got your hands working, putting your makeup on if you're wearing makeup, you know, holding your pencil, typing, all of this stuff that your hands and your fingers do throughout the day. And they don't often get stretched out, do they? Just spending a few seconds on each finger, feeling that stretch down through the palm. And just noticing if you are sitting cross-legged like I am, making sure that your hips are staying comfortable and that you're not feeling like you're, you know, losing any circulation in the feet or anything like that. You don't have to stay stagnant. If you have started out like this and you are starting to feel uncomfortable, you can always move to a different seat. You can pause the video and get comfortable somewhere else. Or you can just swap your legs. I like to do that sometimes. If I've got one crossed in front of the other, I'll kind of switch halfway through. And with the thumb, we're just going to do the same stretch that we did, just give it that little bit extra. You can't see her, but Heidi right now is laying on the couch in a little chunky ball, resting. She had a very busy day, driving me insane. And just going in with the other hand. And you might notice one hand is a little more flexible than the other. One hand kind of feels a little bit more uncomfortable. I find with, I don't know if it's just how I type, or I am right-handed, but with my right hand, I tend to get wrist pain to the ulnar side, which is this side here of my wrist, when I do get wrist pain. So I find pulling back this pinky that I do feel a little bit more, like I can feel a stretch and it feels good, but it's a little more like, ooh, doesn't feel as great. So just being gentle with yourself, of course, and noticing if something does feel icky, maybe trying to hold it a little bit just to get that stretch in there. But you get to decide how long you hold it for at the end of the day. Some days you may just not feel like holding it for very long, and that's totally fine. Just getting a little bit of that movement and stretch into the hands. And you might already notice some sensation in the fingers, some tingling. Maybe they already feel a little bit more open as a whole. Your full hand feels a little bit more flexible. Just noticing that, seeing what's happening with your hands as you start to release these little muscles. And also noticing as we're doing this, are your shoulders creeping up to your ears? We're rolling those down and back. We're working on our hand and wrist health here, but we don't want to do that at the detriment of our neck and shoulder health. stretching that last finger. This is such a nice one to do in the middle of the day, I find. I usually get to around lunchtime and then I'll kind of go through my little hand stretches at my desk. It's a nice little break and reset for before I get back to typing. This also is really nice to do before you do a wrist heavy yoga practice. Just taking that thumb back again. It really warms up the wrists quite nicely. So, food for thought. It's something quick and easy that you can always do at the very beginning of your practice as well. Or you can do a shorter version, just do really quick. Just a little warm up for those wrists. Alrighty. Shake that out and we are done with the fingers. Let's move into the wrists here. So first we are going to bring the hand back towards us. So putting your arm out straight, you want to have the shoulder, this is not your shoulder, you want to have the elbow locked. And then we're going to start to pull the hand back towards us. Now I do not have very flexible wrists, so you'll notice probably already that I am nowhere near like a flat hand. I don't have a 90-degree angle here on my wrist. I need to be doing my wrist stretches more. And maybe this is super easy for you and you're just cracked right back. You'll notice kind of a difference here with this one might be really easy for you, but this one might be a little bit harder, whereas I find this one a little bit easier. It sort of depends, and just no judgment, no right or wrong. It's sort of your own anatomy as well as what your physical day looks like. Like I said, for me, my day job is typing, essentially, to really put it into the simplest terms that I can. So I really am using my hands a lot for typing, and I admit that I am terrible at taking care of my wrists and doing my stretches and that kind of thing. So they have gotten quite crusty. So no judgment with wherever you are with your wrist health or finger health, whatever it may be. Just trying to work towards making that a little bit better and more comfortable for yourself, because why not have things be more comfortable, right? So after that rant, let's straighten our arms out, pulling the fingers back, and you can come over top with your other hand and start to pull the fingers back towards you. You can also pull from the hand, but I find that that allows the fingers to bend. So if you come out right over top here and pull from the fingers, it'll really stretch the fingers and the wrist. Again, making sure that you're keeping that elbow joint extended. Just pulling those fingers back again, checking in with the shoulders, checking in if you're sinking into the back here, keeping that nice good posture. I like to also take the fingers to one side while leaving the arm where it was, and then the other, just to work into each side and edge of that wrist. And then just back to center. Extending that. And releasing that out, maybe giving it a little roll. And switching to the other side, so extending that elbow joint. Hand starts to come back towards the face. Over top here, let's pull the fingers back towards the face. Feeling that stretch along the wrist here. And you can twist your fingers to one side, trying to keep your arm where it was, and to the other. And then back to center, extending through that elbow joint. Pressing through the base of the palm. And letting that out, maybe giving it a little roll. Now we're going to stretch into the top of the wrist and the forearm. So we're going to do the same thing, straightening through the elbow joint, and we're going to drop the hand down, fingers pointing down, and we're going to start to, you can even make a fist if that's more comfortable. It sort of just depends what feels good for you. And then you're just going to use your other hand to pull towards you. Again, keeping that wrist straight. And you can also do the same thing. You can twist your arm around if that feels good. You can twist the hand around. Just getting some movement in here too and seeing what feels best, what's stretching nicely. This one can be nice and juicy right across the top here, but if you start to twist it out, I start to feel it all up through the elbow crease. So that feels really nice as well. And these are also things that you can do against the wall if you don't want to use the pressure of your own hands, you don't want to do any of your own kind of work to pull on this. You can also just go straight against a wall with any of these. And that also feels pretty nice, and it's nice and easy to not have to use your own strength and do that kind of thing. So just breathing into that, and we'll release that now. Give that a little shake and switching sides, straight through the arm. You can make a little fist or just keep the fingers open. And then just pulling that towards you again, moving maybe the arm around, maybe the hand around, seeing what feels good. Pulling back. And just making sure you're not up in the shoulder. Keep that rolled down. You really want to feel this in the top of the hand and up into the forearm. And letting that go, shaking that out. We're going to make some circles in one direction. Whatever direction you feel best doing, we're going to do both. So I think my foot is starting to match my shirt. Losing circulation a little bit, I might have to switch feet. And then just moving in the other direction. And really make these circles, I'm going to have to switch sides here. Ooh. Losing my foot there. Really make the circles animated, so get the fingers in there and stretch the hands out wide and really as if you're trying to stir dough with your hands. Great idea. Now I want fresh baked bread or a cake. Christmas time, am I right? Just try going the other way again, just really getting that animated, jazzy hands. And then we're going to shake the hands as if you're flicking water off them. And just go one at a time and think of flicking water off the ends. You feel a little weird. It's like you're trying to punch someone and slap them at the same time. Is that too aggressive for a yogi to say? Namaste. Just working into those wrists, shake those out. And now this one feels weird sometimes because we're used to shaking like this. Start shaking up and down. I have one wrist that's just going click, 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 click. You probably can't hear it from here. But just making sure that you're getting all in there. And then bringing the hands together, clasping the fingers. We're gonna start to make almost like a figure 8 or a snowball. Just working into those wrists. And then here's where the brain comes in. Try going to the opposite way. One way feels so much more natural than the other. Really challenge your brain here. Okay, and shake that out. Now we are going to do a quick little exercise that's actually quite good for sort of strengthening the fingers. If you have really long nails, this one's probably going to be hard for you. I find even when my nails get grown out a tiny bit, oh, that ankle's asleep. I find even when my nails get grown out a tiny bit, it kind of creeps me out, but I'm really weird about my nails. So see if you can do it. There are probably other ways that you can kind of figure out to do it, but you're going to want to steeple your hands. And we're doing spider push-ups, some people call them. So what we're going to do is we're going to have them extended out, and then you're going to press them against each other. And this is where the nails kind of run into each other and feels kind of gross, but figure it out for what works for you if this is where you kind of pull them apart a little bit. But you do want to be pressing your fingers into each other, so it's almost as if you're really doing push-ups or something with your hand. So just working in, and you'll start to feel that in here and maybe into the forearm a little bit. So this is just a good exercise to really work all the little muscles in the hands. It seems odd, but it's good for you, I promise. Ugh. It just really creeps me out with my nails. Ugh. I had really long fake nails for a really long time, so my nail health got really bad. So my creepy thin little nails now kind of creep me out. So that's just me. And then shaking that out. And seeing how our wrists are feeling now. I do have some other stuff that you can always do, but I did want to make this one a little bit shorter today in case you wanted to do it as a, a beginning to your practice or something like that. So do let me know down in the comments below if you liked this, if you'd like to see some other alternative stretches that you can do for the wrists and the arms. I'm happy to share those with you guys. I have a lot of other ones that we can do, so let me know if you'd like a longer video focusing on the hands and the wrists. I can also do something focusing on stretching out the feet and the ankles one day, the neck and that kind of thing, so just let me know what you would like to see. If you enjoyed this quick little wrist warm-up, then please give this video a like, and you can also go ahead and subscribe to my channel while you're doing that. Why not? And you can hit that bell icon to be notified every time that I post a new video. I post every Saturday and also will occasionally post during the week if the mood strikes. So I hope this really helped you out with your wrist health, and you can come back to this video, like I said, every day if you want to start your day with it. If you want to do it at your desk at work or something like that, then go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys so much for joining me again. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I just hope you're having a great time. We're coming up to the holidays, so it's getting a little exciting, at least in my house it is. So I hope everyone is feeling great, and I am always happy to chat with you guys in the comments, or if you want to direct message or email me on Instagram. Email me or direct message me on Instagram would make more sense. But whatever you'd like to do, if you want to have a chat, please let me know. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much. Namaste.